Okay, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to paint your background using warm colors. So you're going to start out by painting everything with water. You want it to be enough to where it saturates the paper, but not so much that your paper is dripping. Once you've done this, your paper is going to be very delicate, so it's important that you take care of it and you don't sit there and like scrub or grind your paint into the paper. But with watercolor, you shouldn't have to do that. Okay, so your paper shouldn't be drippy. It should just be wet enough that you can glide your paint on. So your warm colors are red, orange, yellow, and brown. So you need to choose whichever one you like the best and start with that one. Drip some water into your paint and then lightly brush with it. Okay? You're not going to gouge paint out. You're not going to dig it. Just paint on top of your on top of the little palette. So once I've got some paint on my brush, then I'm going to go around and dab it onto the paper. And you notice I'm using the side of my brush and I'm gently pressing. I'm not jabbing into the paper. You don't want your brush to look like this when you're done. You want it to stay nice and new just like you have it. My preferred brush for this project is the round brush in size 10. That's this big one that I've got. But any of the brushes will work just fine. It's a personal preference. But if you wanted to know which one I'm using, that's the one I'm using. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing in red. I used a brown Sharpie for the word because brown is in that color family, and I feel like it's going to look really pretty when it's done. Whereas on this one, I think I used either gray or purple, and you can see that's not really super successful, but when it dries I can go back and do a brown Sharpie and it'll be just fine. So now that I'm done with the red, I'm going to go in with my next color, which is orange. Notice I've washed my brush out before I go into the color. I've been using this color all day and they're not contaminated. So yours shouldn't be contaminated either. You want to take care of it. And I'm just going to do the same thing again. Put my color wherever I would like orange. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush out again. I'm going to go in with my yellow. And just kind of get rid of all the white spaces. And you might pick up some color from your picture if you're not too careful, so you'll want to wash your brush out before you go back into the color if you think you're going to contaminate the palette, because we don't want the palette contaminated. And you can see how easy that is to do. I'm just dipping the brush in there, rinsing it off, going straight back into the paint. And I'm doing that every time I get yellow because yellow is easily contaminated. Okay, now when you're finished with this, this is going to be super delicate, so be sure to pick it up carefully and move it out of the way. So I'm going to pick it up very, very carefully. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way. You can set it on your green shelf and let it dry there. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to paint the leaves. So if you're, since you're doing warm colors, you're not going to paint the leaves with warm colors. They won't show up if you do. See, that'd be a total waste of time. So don't paint the leaves with warm colors. You're going to paint the leaves with cool colors. Your cool colors were purple, blue, and green. All right, see you in the next video.